Ladies and gentlemen, Primetime CP23 here, back with another Diablo 3 video. Today, of course, we're looking at the Multishot Demon Hunter with the Unhallowed Essence set. The variant that I use is probably a little bit different than the quote-unquote meta version of this build, but at this time in patch 2.6, Season 11, it's not the best build for, speed farming T13 anyway, so I just run it on T10. This is my build that I use for just kind of fun farming because I really enjoy the build. So what we've got here is, of course, the Yang's recurve bow that allows Multishot to attack 50% faster. Dead Man's Legacy, so that Multishot now hits enemies below X amount of health, 50 to 60% health, twice. So that's literally doubling your damage against things that are lower health. Then we're using Nemesis Bracers, Convention of Elements, and the Endless Walk set with Compass Rose and Traveler's Pledge. In this case, our gems are Boon of the Hoarder, Zai's Stone of Vengeance, and a Bane of the Stricken. For gems, we're using all diamonds all emeralds except the helm, where we are using a diamond for some cooldown reduction. You need to be at right around 37%, or right around 35-40% cooldown reduction, just so that you have 100% uptime on Vengeance, because that is a pretty big damage boost, as well as a way to help maintain keeping your hatred up. So, and then moving on to the cube, where we've got a Dawn for CDR on Vengeance. We're using a Cinder Coat to help maintain the resource cost of Multishot. For Greater Rift pushing, you're going to switch a few things out. For Greater Rift pushing, you're going to want to take off Gold Wrap and obviously remove Avarice Band. Instead of Avarice Band, you're probably going to want well, there's a couple things, but I generally would pick an Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, possibly an Oculus. Obsidian Ring means that you always have Vengeance up, no matter what. And then you're going to want to swap your belt to a Vigilante belt, or there's several options, really. But I personally like this Vigilante belt for the extra 7% cooldown. You are going to want to keep NEMs on, just because it is still a speed build. For the armor slot in the cube, you're going to want to switch from Cinder Coat to Visage of Goons, so that your Vengeance also gains the Dark Heart rune. That's going to give you the extra damage reduction that you need just to be safe. And then, of course, you'll take out your Boon of the Hoarder. I suggest for a Bane of the Trapped, just because, as a lot of people have said in a lot of videos, it's just the best gem in the game. So those are kind of some options for you. As you can see, I'm just over 1 million damage, sheet damage, with not really optimized gear. I have mostly ancient gear, but it's definitely not optimized. And we're over 1 million damage. We can literally just run through rifts, especially open maps with some decent density, like this one. I mean, you see how fast everything just dies. and elites take a little bit longer to kill, but even elites are no match for this build. For those who don't know, Multishot Demon Hunter is just one of my favorite builds in the game. It's so much fun to just spam arrows at everything. Because we are using the Unhallowed Essence set, we have to kind of maintain, we have to just kind of run most of the time rather than vaulting. Because if you vault around too much, then you're not going to have the damage for elite packs, or just in general to kill things. Because, obviously, with the Unhallowed Essence set, you gain a big damage buff for every point of essence you have. So, the more essence you have, obviously, the more damage you do. And that's pretty important, because, like I said, we're not doing just a monumental amount of damage with this build. It's just, the damage is so spread out with Multishot that, it stays very efficient for about T10. You can farm higher if you have a little better gear. My gear really slows down after T10. For T10, I can do greater rifts in about right about 4 minutes. But anything higher than T10, it slows down quite a bit. So, and of course, when you find a channeling pylon, the build really gets going fast, because when you have a channeling pylon, your vault no longer costs resource, so you can just vault all over the map. You can probably vault around a little bit more than I normally do, but I just like to be safe. We'll go over the skills as soon as we finish this rift. Skills are pretty basic, but it's always good to go over them, because you never know if someone's not going to know what's supposed to be in the build, You're not going to know if somebody doesn't know, Words are fun, everybody. This is what happens when you do videos like I do, where we're, just doing single cuts. I don't cut these videos at all. I don't do any kind of editing or anything. You get just basically live commentary. And that's just the way I like it. So we're going to have a power pylon just in time for the Rift Guardian. Awesome. Help if I could find him. There it is. So there we go. That power pylon helped me kind of eat that Guardian, but still. So then, as for our skills, we're going to be using the Evasive Fire Rim with Focus, just for, because every now and then you do run out of hatred, and so if you run out of hatred and your companion is on cooldown, you got to get that hatred back up pretty quick. So we're using Evasive Fire, which I believe has the most hatred regeneration of any passive. I could be wrong on that, but it's pretty efficient. Multishot with the Arsenal Rune is our main damage dealer. Vengeance with Seethe, and I've got people talking to me, I'm sorry. Vengeance with Seethe so that you get increased hatred regeneration. Vault Tumble so that you can vault multiple times for reduced resource. preparation with the Invigoration rune, just for the extra 20 discipline. As you can see, we're only at 59 discipline as it is, so I mean, every little bit helps, because we're not getting a huge buff as we should be from our Unhallowed Essence set. And then we're using, as I said earlier, Companion with the Bat Companion runes, so that our Bat instantly gives us 50 additional hatred. Passives are pretty negotiable. You are using Hot Pursuit. Other great choices are Ambush, Single Out for extra crit chance on Rift Guardians. You can use Leech. Ambush is probably a very good one, because if you use Ambush instead of Hot Pursuit, then you're dealing extra damage to enemies above 75% health. Well, then with your Dead Man's Legacy, you're doing additional damage to enemies below 50% health. So, and that can roll up to 60%. So you're doing a lot of extra damage if you take Ambush. But personally, I don't think we need it for T10. We're using the Archery rune, or Archery passive for increased damage. Steady Aim for increased damage also, because the goal of this build is to be far away from everything. And Awareness, just in case. Because that's the thing, is Awareness, especially in normal rifts, is very negotiable, because you do have Gold Wrap and Boon of the Hoarder with an Avarice Band, so your toughness gets super high. It can easily get into the billions, just so that you can see. I mean, that's 4 billion toughness. Nothing's killing you when you're at 6 billion toughness, you know? Just nothing's killing you at that kind of health, at that kind of armor level. But you never know. Before you get into a rift, before you kill something, anything's possible. You could also possibly drop Awareness for Ambush, and that might be optimal. I don't know for positive. But I know that this is one of my favorite builds to play, so I'm going to continue playing it, even though it's not the best Demon Hunter build by any means. It's possibly the most fun, though. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, this is Primetime CP23, and I'm out.